Hello, my name is Tommy Wilson. I've been working at Amarillo Gear for 27 years. Today we're going to work on installing a non-reverse on 1712. Alright, we're doing a non-reverse on a 1712. And this is going to be my O-ring retainer. And this is the inner race. I'll make sure there's no problem that it fits loose. It's got room to work with. So I'm going to first install the O-ring retainer, then I'm going to slide on the inner race, make sure it slides evenly onto the shaft, no problems. Make sure the key is on those bolts right there, it's pressing up against it, so we're good there. This slides well, so I'm going to put this back, leave my O-ring retainer in place. Now I'm going to bring in my O-ring for the non-reverse. I'm going to slide it on. Make sure it sits up against there real nice. Now I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the O-ring so it will be able to slide on real easy. Doesn't take a whole lot. Just make sure it gets lubricated. I have that ready. Then I'll come back over here. This is the outer race for the non-reverse. And here is the Sprag. Right here we'll install inside like this. Then I'll put the inner race inside. Make sure that it turns in the right rotation, so we have that correct. So I'll set that back on the table. Then I'll bring in my spacer plate. I have Loctite on both sides. On a 1712, the lip right here will go in first. It'll ride right inside the horizontal carrier. Put my little guide pins in. Helps out. Make sure it butts up nice and smoothly. Now I'll bring in the non-reverse Sprag inner and outer race. And I make sure that the oil pocket hole is at the very bottom. And make sure everything lines nice and smooth, slides on. I get my keyway lined up. Then I have my non-reverse key. I slide it inside the shaft and work it way up inside. Nice and smooth, no problems. Then I'll bring in the seal for our seals, this little sleeve, protect us from putting our seals on. We'll install it next. Then the last piece is going to be the seal plate. I've already got Loctite on it. Doesn't take a whole lot. Don't get carried away with putting it on, because it'll get into the Sprag. So then I'll work its way on nice and easy. Push it on. I'll bring my sleeve off. Then I'll wipe off the excess grease that I have put on. Then I have my key retaining ring with half dogs already in place. I'll bring this in. I set it lined up to on the key. Set it like so. Then I just slightly snug the one on the key. To line it up, try to get it into the center as possible. And I tighten the other two fairly snug. Then I'll back this one that goes onto the key, I back it off because I want to be able to slide on that O-ring retainer inside. Now I want to kind of put the bolts in, kind of get them started. Then I'll run them in with the impact just slightly, not tight yet, just get them close. Then we have a wiggle stick that we use here, so that way we can turn our shaft. And also it really helps putting on the non-reverse. I use a 3/4 inch wrench. I kind of line it up with this box end right here. Give a little bit of play. Then I'll tighten my wiggle stick up fairly tight. Make sure it's turning in the right direction. Then I'll start working on tightening the bolts. Start at one side, and when you do this, try to put the back pressure on so you spread out the sprag to the inner and outer rays so it gives the clearance. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit, then push back, slightly tug, then on the bottom, make sure it's still spinning nice and free. Then I put it down. I'll tighten these things two up. Still free. Still turns with no problem, nice and free. Then I'll bring in my wrench again where the half dog is loose right there. I'll push it in here and I can feel it go up on the O-ring. So once I know it's there, I get in, tighten this one up. I'll back this off a little bit. Now I'm going to also just got a little weep hole right here so I can prime up the non-reverse sprag. Pour the oil in the funnel. Let it start going in and slowly rotate it. So make sure you get the oil into the sprag. Once I get done with that, then I come back with the Allen wrench, double to make sure that these half dogs are nice and snug. See, it still turns a little bit. So you want to get that Allen wrench so you can get more torque on it. So you don't want it to come loose in the field. Okay, everything's nice and tight. Now, the last step will be putting the plug in right here. Put a little bit of white Loctite on here, just a little bit. And there's the way, an easy way to put on a non-reverse on 1712.